Hello, my name is Victoria Meinig and I am the CEO of the Oregon City Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to welcome you to our State of the Community Forum. Today you will hear from City of Oregon City, Dr. Tim Cook, Clackamas Community College. We'll sit down with Larry Didway at the Oregon City School District and then wrap up with our own board chair, Ben James. I am now honored to introduce to you our new mayor, Rachel Lyles-Smith.
It is a pleasure to have the opportunity to speak to you today about the accomplishments of the city over the last year and our shared hope for a brighter year ahead. I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for hosting the State of the Community Forum, and I appreciate you taking the time to join me today. This past year presented many challenges both nationally and locally, from a global pandemic to civil unrest, wildfires, and most recently an ice storm. We were asked to figuratively come together while physically keeping apart. The city employees and leadership have done a tremendous job adjusting to these challenges as we have responded to the economic, emotional, and social impacts to our community. Despite these struggles, our leaders, volunteers, and city staff accomplished remarkable things. It took perseverance, but we joined together to help strengthen the city. Bound by our collective passion to move forward and keep employees safe, we continue to offer the high level of service our community has come to know and expect. One of the best strengths of our community is its resilience and the countless ways we all make a difference. This was no less true last year, showing our community's desire to do more, be better, and make Oregon City a great place to live, work, and play. I would like to share with you some incredible statistics. Over 39,000 meals and 36,000 social services and wellness checks were provided to seniors, our most vulnerable population in the city. Over 400 videos and virtual programs were offered through our library to keep families, children, and adults engaged and active. And the City Commission approved 3 debt relief grant programs and a forgivable loan program, which dispersed over $500,000 of CARES funds to over 100 Oregon City businesses and nonprofits to help pay bills and reimagine their business operations. We will continue to look for creative and innovative ways to help support and grow our business community. Currently, the city's Economic Development Department is creating a strategic plan that will guide our economic recovery from the impact of COVID-19. This guidebook will provide a framework for a more resilient local economy moving forward. They have just begun their work, but I'm looking forward to seeing the completed plan this summer. In 2020, we also experienced a wildfire season like no other in recent history. During the wildfire event, we sent officers to help with the immediate evacuation of community members south of Molalla and to take on patrol responsibilities to assist the Molalla Police Department. Additionally, the city's Emergency Response Center staffed a bilingual phone information line that took over 750 calls, and the Parks Department prepared and opened Clackamas Park to provide a place for evacuees to set up their tents and campers as areas to our south were under the mandatory evacuation. From wildfires to ice storms, the city staff have stepped up to support our community. During the recent ice storm, the Public Works and Police Department kept our primary streets open and as safe as possible for travel. Crews worked around the clock through freezing temperatures and power loss to actively respond to trees in the road right-of-way. We also mobilized contractors to help us to speed up the recovery process for our city. As many of you know, this natural disaster put an immense strain on our utility partners, and we appreciate their efforts to restore services to our community. In particular, PGE's response and ability to bring in hundreds of workers from nearby states to restore power to Oregon City homes was extraordinary. Oregon City and Clackamas County were the hardest hit in terms of fallen trees and limbs. We know our community needed help with the debris cleanup, so city staff coordinated a tree debris collection site at the Cove. We collected 28,000 cubic yards of tree debris from both residents and city operations. That is enough debris to fill an entire football field 13 feet high. We also partnered with the Oregon City Optimist Club in hosting the Oregon City Cleanup event on March 20th. This event connected volunteers with Oregon City residents who were physically unable or had no equipment to manage the tree fall at their homes. With the effort of generous volunteers, over 400 cubic yards of tree debris was hauled away from Oregon City homes. I am very proud of our ability to adapt to new challenges and provide new services to our community in our time of need. Another example of how we have reimagined our service delivery to help those in need is our response to the COVID-19 pandemic. While COVID has impacted all of us, our seniors in the region have experienced the pandemic in isolation. They have dramatically reduced their contact with friends, family, and health services, but our assistance to seniors has transitioned and continued. The Pioneer Community Center houses Oregon City and West Lynn's Meals on Wheels services. I am proud of the staff and volunteers that pivoted from congregate meals to meal delivery without ever stopping services. They stepped up and delivered items generously donated by our community, like toothbrushes, soap, and toilet paper, as well as pet food and supplies. We have heard from many clients that a Meals on Wheels presence, even through a window, was greatly appreciated. This work is ongoing, and if it is in your heart to donate, our Pioneer Center is still collecting items to assist our senior population. Many of the library's accomplishments this year were directly or indirectly related to responding to the ongoing pandemic. COVID-19 challenged library staff to be flexible, creative, and innovative in how they provide library services to the community, all while working under constantly evolving public health guidelines and capacity and staffing constraints. The library developed and implemented a successful 2020 online summer reading program for kids, teens, and adults using an entirely new online platform. In addition, they mailed out hundreds of prize books to summer reading participants and hosted a full series of virtual family concerts. Late in 2020, they partnered with the Oregon City School District and Head Start program to distribute over 1,500 books to kids in the community. They scheduled no-contact material pickups as soon as it was safe for staff and community members. Even in the midst of a pandemic, with public access to the building limited, library staff were able to circulate over 200,000 items this calendar year. That is impressive. Every other year, the city hires a firm to help with statistically valid survey of the community to determine the level of satisfaction with city services. We also ask residents to rank their perception of the city overall. 86% of respondents rated Oregon City as an excellent or good place to live. 77% agreed that Oregon City is an excellent or good place to raise children, and 75% said the overall quality of life in the city was excellent or good. We found that the city services with the highest level of satisfaction were police services, public library services, and the overall quality of city parks, trails, and open space. The survey also told us of areas that should receive emphasis over the next 2 years: the overall quality of police services, economic development, and maintenance of city streets. As you will hear a little later, all of these areas needing improvement are captured in the City Commission's goals and priorities for the next biennium. We will continue to offer a high level of police service in the brand new Robert Lipke Public Safety Facility, which had its grand opening on October 6, 2020. The new $16 million police and municipal court headquarters replaced the former building, which was originally built in the 1960s. The new facility was built to the highest life safety standards and was designed to be welcoming and accessible to the community. I would like to thank and congratulate Chief Jim Mann, who led this project with a commitment to the health and safety of his staff and our community. The building is dedicated to the service of Officer Robert Lipke, who was tragically killed in the line of duty while responding to domestic abuse in a house fire on Lynn Avenue. And the court and commission chambers are named after Officer George Hanlon, who was fatally shot in 1906 by a burglar he was attempting to arrest. In Oregon City, we take the time to honor those that have come before us, and we never forget the sacrifices that have been made for our safety and well-being. As our community grows and the region changes, our police force must incorporate ways to navigate mental illness. We recently hired Valentina Muja, the first mental health coordinator on the Oregon City staff. Ms. Muja has over 20 years of experience working alongside law enforcement, utilizing her extensive training in crisis intervention and trauma response. She will serve the community well in guiding those with severe and persistent mental health illnesses. Her talents will be used to assist our homeless liaison officer within the Oregon City Police Department, as well as other city departments, including Parks, Public Works, and Library Services. Looking ahead to the next biennium, the city will be conducting projects that are aligned and implement the goals of the City Commission. Addressing the growing homeless population is one of these goals. The city will continue to work to identify tools to address the impacts of homelessness, mental health, and substance abuse issues on our community. While there are steps that we have taken and we will continue to take, there is a need to strengthen our relationships with service providers, the county, metro, and state agencies to provide the needed housing and wraparound services that these community members need. We must also seek out and leverage funding opportunities currently available for our region to support this great need. There are several major projects underway that will continue into the new biennium and shape the future of our city. In 2020, the Community Development Department launched OC 2040, a citywide effort to update the city's comprehensive plan. This plan is the city's leading policy document on growth, development, and public investment over the next 20 years, and it will be adopted later this year. It is very important that this plan reflect the aspiration of all community members. We have solicited input through social media, surveys, community conversations, a logo design contest, and the creation of a 35-member project advisory team. This group has a wide variety of representation from youth, LGBTQ+, faith institutions, people of color, seniors, builders, historians, and many more that are lending their voices to this discussion. This advisory team has begun the process of crafting a community vision that is informed by input received through a community survey. The survey was taken by over 1,000 respondents and provides great feedback on why people choose to live here or relocate their businesses to Oregon City, what makes Oregon City special, and what changes should be made in the future. There are still opportunities for you to help inform the OC24 project. I encourage you to visit the project webpage to learn more about how you can provide meaningful impact. Another significant project currently underway is the Molalla Avenue Streetscape project, which began construction last summer and will be completed by the end of 2021. Molalla Avenue is a key corridor for drivers, transit users, pedestrians, and cyclists. It connects downtown Oregon City with Clackamas Community College, the Clackamas County Red Soils campus, and restaurants, retail shops, and many other amenities that we all enjoy. The Molalla Avenue project is an important and much-needed project that addresses critical water infrastructure needs, a roadway that has outlived its life cycle, and needed safety improvements, like more visible pedestrian crossings, bike lanes, and ADA-compliant sidewalks and curb ramps. The goal of the Molalla Avenue Streetscape project is to create a safe corridor for all users. I know you are dealing with congestion issues because of this road construction. The good news is that we are over halfway through this project. The contractor has completed the installation of an 18-inch water line which spans the entire corridor, and a new 8-inch water line at the north end of the project to replace an aging distribution line. You may have seen the new sidewalks and ADA ramps along the east side of the road, while work continues on the west side. The planting of street trees, installation of traffic signal poles, and decorative street lighting are yet to come. This project is also an example of how we are leveraging multiple funding sources to reconstruct the roadway, add pedestrian safety features, and replace aging water infrastructure. Metro is providing $3.8 million for this project, and the city is spending $6.3 million using funds from the Transportation System Development Charges, gas taxes, and pavement maintenance utility fees. Additionally, the water line improvements are funded with water system development charges and water rates at an estimated cost of $3.1 million. Again, I want to thank you for your patience during construction. This is indeed a big project for Oregon City. Once it is complete later this year, Molalla Avenue will provide a safer experience for all users and significant water infrastructure improvements that will benefit the community for decades to come. I want to spend a couple of minutes on a topic that we all acknowledge as one of our most precious resources, and that is water. While it is great that we have a lot of history and historic buildings that we honor and celebrate, that also means that we have old pipes. And with aging infrastructure, we have the very real task of determining how to keep up with the city's water demands while replacing outdated pipes and providing the high-quality service our residents expect. Water rates and water system development charges support the city's capital improvement plan. Water rates pay for system improvements needed for the existing system, while SDCs are one-time charges that pay for improvements needed to support new development and growth. We are currently in the process of updating the 2012 Water System Master Plan and Capital Improvement Plan. The City Commission has made it clear that current ratepayers will not shoulder the burden of new growth and development in our water system. Updating these plans will ensure that new development pays for their share of water system improvements. However, we cannot continue to ignore our aging water system. In 2021, we will be asking residents to vote on a ballot measure to allow the city to incur debt and minimally increase water rates, which would allow the city to make strategic improvements to our water system in a shorter amount of time. The Commission will work with the community and staff over the next few months to refine the water rate and debt proposal in preparation for the November ballot. In 2006, the city identified a need for a larger and seismically sound public works facility to meet the demands of a growing city. After a decade of searching for a suitable location and saving money, the Public Works Department has begun construction on a new Oregon City operations complex located on First Street. The $12.8 million construction project will redevelop the site to accommodate the majority of both the Public Works Department and the Parks Maintenance Division in one multi-purpose site. The project broke ground last September and should be completed this fall. The construction of a new Public Works facility, the Malala Avenue project, and the water rate ballot measure are all examples that support the City Commission's goal to invest in current and future capital needs for safe, sustainable infrastructure and city services. Our parks are some of the greatest amenities that our residents and visitors enjoy year-round. We currently have 3 park projects underway, 2 of which will be completed this year. The DC Latourette Park broke ground last August and will be home to a new nature play area with play structures, upgraded basketball court, improved walking path, and additional seating. The park, which was formerly an outdoor swimming pool between 1935 and 1965, was adopted by a Girl Scout troop, 45064. The project received funds from 7 different organizations, all to help pay for the $590,000 project. I can't wait to see the vision of the Girl Scouts fulfilled, which is a park for all to use and play in this summer. I also want to thank the Latourette Park core team, who has done a tremendous job of helping to keep this park project moving forward. Another community-supported park that is well underway is the Tyrone S. Woods Memorial Park, located on South Glen Oak Road. This 9-acre park broke ground last May and will protect and restore natural resources while creating an engaging place for active recreation for all ages and abilities. A public engagement process was undertaken to create the master plan for the park, which includes winding looped pathways, open lawn areas, a picnic shelter, benches, a nature playground, and a fenced off-leash dog park. Subsequent phases to be built include pickleball courts and skate amenities. The park will be named after Tyrone S. Woods, who was a native Oregonian and a 1989 graduate of Oregon City High School. He was a state champion wrestler and went on to serve his country as a U.S. Navy SEAL. Tyrone perished in Benghazi on September 12, 2012, while serving with the CIA defending American lives. Thanks to the VFW Three Rivers Post 1324, a beautiful stone memorial and engraved plaque will be placed at the park as a reminder that freedom is never free. The park will be dedicated in May, and I hope you can join us virtually, along with his family, to memorialize Tyrone's contributions to our community and the nation. Our third park in the process of development is the 3.5-acre Filbert Run Park located on the south side of Hazelnut Avenue. The site's master plan includes a looped accessible pathway, a small play area, benches, picnic tables, and a small shelter. This project was recently awarded a grant through the State Parks and Recreation Program, which will help fund the development. This project will provide a neighborhood park to the Hazel Grove Westling Farm neighborhood, which currently does not have any park amenities. There are many more projects that are currently underway or planned for the next biennium that I could talk about. But the last project I want to mention is the Willamette Falls Legacy Project. In 2019, the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde purchased the former Blue Heron paper mill site located on the banks of the Willamette River in downtown Oregon City. In 2020, Grand Ronde shared an alternative riverfront concept they developed for the first phase of the Riverwalk. This alternative supports the initial conceptual design while also meeting Grand Ronde's site cleanup and development goals. The concept, with further refinements, is estimated to cost $12.5 million to construct, with funding that is already secured. Once this revised plan is formally approved, I am hopeful that the Riverwalk project can once again move forward with construction projected to begin in 2023. In addition to the Riverwalk, which will provide public access to the falls, many in our community are also wondering about the future development of the old Blue Heron Mill. Since acquiring the property in 2019, the tribe has been working with a design team to create a vision for the site, while also working on the environmental remediation that must occur to clean up the property. Grand Ronde has recently released their vision for the property, and I encourage you to check out their website to read about the tribe's future plans. It is indeed an exciting time as restoration and revitalization are underway, and I look forward to working with the Grand Ronde tribe and all of the Willamette Falls Legacy Project partners to move this great project forward. The projects I've mentioned are all thanks to the support of the City Commission and the hard work of city staff, partners, and the community. We know our jobs are never done. To help keep the city moving forward, the Commission has begun developing goals and priorities for the next 2 years. I have mentioned a couple of these goals already. Other Commission goals include promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion in the community, improving the city's engagement efforts, promoting tourism and supporting economic development, showcasing Oregon City's unique community identity, supporting diverse housing options, and protecting and preserving our environmental health and natural resources. The Commission has set a high bar for the next 2 years, but all of these goals are worthy of our attention and investment. I want to thank the Commission for supporting the city through COVID-19, wildfires, and an ice storm, and for continuing to address the concerns of our community. I also want to thank the employees at the City of Oregon City. They have kept city operations moving smoothly and safely during uncertain times and ever-changing COVID requirements. I am hopeful that the direction of 2021 has shifted toward better times, and that this summer will be a period of rejuvenation where city services can begin to return to in-person services, and we are all able to spend time together with our family and friends. Take care, and please be well. It is my pleasure to introduce our next speaker for the State of the Community Forum, Dr. Tim Cook, President of Clackamas Community College.
Hello, my name is Tim Cook. I'm president of Clackamas Community College. I'm thrilled to be talking to you about one of our accomplishments from 2020. This is our new Welcome Center. This is the final building and project on campus in connection to the 2014 bond. Back in 2014, the citizens of Clackamas County approved a $90 million bond to allow us to build new buildings and improve existing infrastructure at the college. And I want to thank everyone for your support of the college in passing that bond. This past year, we broke ground March 13th of 2020, just a week before we went remote on our new Welcome Center. This building's intended to serve as the front door to our college, housing the majority of the college student services. We're intentionally creating a space where students can have most of their questions answered in one setting, rather than having to move to different offices or between buildings. Additionally, the college is remodeling the existing community center to provide a facelift for admissions, Associated Student Government, the Career Center, our Disability Resource Center, Multicultural Center, and the Veterans Program. This improved community center will create better study spaces for our students, as well as easy access to the Cougar Cafe. We're nearing the home stretch on all these bond projects, as well as our Wachino Welcome Center. And here is a picture of where we were at just this last month on the building. The Wachino Welcome Center and community renovations are on schedule for opening this summer, And we've decided to name the Welcome Center after Chief Wachino of the Clackamas people. Clackamas Community College land sits on land from the Clackamas tribe. And it's really fitting that we are naming this building, the front door of our college, where people will come first and be welcomed after Chief Wachino and the Clackamas people. So we're really proud to honor the Clackamas people in this way. And no, we're not going to have a grand opening celebration like we've had for our other bond projects. We're working on a virtual ribbon cutting. And I look forward to having a community-wide event in the summer of 2022 to thank the community for supporting our bond and the college. In 2021, what I'm looking forward to, and thanks to the generosity of a longtime entrepreneur, we're opening a makerspace in the Industrial Technology Center on our Oregon City campus. I'm actually sitting in this makerspace right now. Space has been designed for use by our students through multiple programs, by community members, and by employers. This makerspace will provide opportunities for exploration, skill building, and business development. It's an industrial workshop like this one, and it does not exist anywhere in Clackamas County. And we're treating this makerspace like a startup, with the assumption that sustainability can be achieved as news of its presence in the community generates greater demand. Sustainability will be based on this growing demand, creating financial resources through college support, donations, and user fees. This new makerspace is named after the late Les Diosas, an entrepreneur and founder of Benchmade Knives here in Oregon City, longtime supporter of the college. To ensure the makerspace is accessible to everyone and affordable to all people in the community, Benchmade and the Diosas family donated equipment and funds to the CCC Foundation. The naming of the makerspace after Les is fitting, as he started his business by designing and building knives in his garage. Benchmade knives are now coveted around the world. Executives of Benchmade, the Diosas family, are thrilled by the vision of the Les Diosas makerspace, generating over $100,000 in donations to fund equipment, purchases, and program needs. We look forward to opening the makerspace here later in 2021. And finally, as I look forward to 2021, the word I'm using is optimistic. Really optimistic about us be back fully open to the community. I'm optimistic about how we're going to engage with the citizens in Oregon City and Clackamas County at large, and just optimistic and excited about everything that will be happening here at the college as we come back and are fully open and ready to serve the educational needs for Clackamas County. And with that, I want to turn it over to one of my favorite educational partners, Larry Didway, the superintendent of Oregon City Schools. Thank you. Take it from here, Larry.
Larry, thank you for taking the time to sit down and talk with us today. Can you please share a significant accomplishment from 2020?
Yeah, I would say the major accomplishment for Oregon City Schools during this year would definitely be just continuing teaching and learning, despite all of the many challenges and obstacles. We have had to reinvent ourselves repeatedly in response to changing state guidance, in response to new public health needs, and we've really had to pivot, sometimes with very little notice. When I look back and I just think about what has been accomplished over this last year, I am in awe. I'm in awe of the ability of an organization this large and this complex being able to pivot so many times with so few resources to do it. And we did it. Sometimes we didn't please everyone, and we know that. But what we did was we really put a focus on maintaining student, staff, and community wellness. And we see that as an important pre-element for learning to happen. And that's how we've continued learning, we've continued teaching. At the same time, we also got to serve as a community resource. Our community went through disasters. Our community also was in pain and suffering from the pandemic. And we've been able to provide food stability by providing regular meal routes to families all throughout the community. We've also been able to provide some response and support for our emergency disasters. And all of that, again, is just a focus on the wellness of our students, staff, and community. And I'm really proud of what's been accomplished this year.
Yes, you have a lot to be proud of. Will you please share a program or project that you're looking forward to in 2021?
Well, we are definitely looking forward to a big grand opening of a brand new Gardner Middle School and a completely reimagined Ogden Middle School. And I cannot wait to get students and staff inside there. These are places that are going to completely transform the middle school experience. They are going to bring a new life and energy into teaching and learning in our community. And I am so excited about that. I'm also excited to unveil recent improvements for safety and security at all of our elementary schools and other facilities, which is really a part of meeting our promise and our obligation from the 2018 bond. And I'm also really, and probably most fundamentally, looking forward to 2021-22 being a school year where we return to full-time in-person learning and we initiate a new and improved normal.
That is exciting and can't wait to see all the new schools. Can you give us one word that describes your outlook for 2021?
That would be hopeful. I have hope for healing, I have hope for renewal, and I just have overall hope for our community. I really have great hope for wellness for our students, our staff, and our overall community and our schools. And I just have hope for a better tomorrow.
Hopeful is a great word, and I know the community is with you. Please tell us what's been keeping you sane during quarantine, and wine is a totally acceptable answer.
I am deeply grateful to the hardworking and dedicated employees of Oregon City School District. I have been amazed by how many people have stepped up and have made just enormous personal self-sacrifice and have put their heads together and just had an incredible ingenuity and dedication to meeting the needs of our community and of our schools and of our students. I also am grateful to my family, and I appreciate the fact that as a parent of older teens, that I would never have had this time willingly spent with mom and dad had it not been for a quarantine. And last, but definitely significantly, would be my dog, our new family dog, which has been a company for me on many, many long walks, and I call her my best thought partner.
Larry, we appreciate all of the work that you and your team have done and for sharing your family with us. Now we would like to wrap it up with our Chamber Board Chair, Ben James.
A year ago, many of us were asking ourselves if we would survive. Well, here we are, a year later, not only surviving in a pandemic, but we've survived a major ice storm, evacuations from wildfires, our economy shutting down. Here we are, all of us. We're here, but this last year has been rough. But through all the trials, we've learned efficiencies. I think we could all agree we're practically experts on Zoom now, and our commute times are way down. We've gained perspective over the last year. We're more focused on what is really important and more careful with our time, having a reminder of just how precious life is. We're optimistic about the future and excited to use this new skill set that we've had and we've learned over the last year while the world is opening back up to us. And the Chamber is here to support you. This isn't the first pandemic that the Chamber has seen. The Oregon City Chamber of Commerce was established in 1909 and survived, and our community flourished in the roaring 20s. I think Oregon City got its immunity a century ago in the Spanish flu. Thank you for your time today. Reach out to us, let us know how we can help you, or if you're inclined, let us know if you want to be involved. Thank you. The Chamber is here for you.
I want to take this moment to thank our sponsors, Clackamas Water Environment Services, Portland General Electric, Advocate Supporters, Double J Construction, and Geeks and Games. I have a shout out to our partners, the City of Oregon City, Clackamas Community College, and the Oregon City School District. But most importantly, I would like to thank Reliable Productions for the taping of this video. Thank you so much. Without you, we could not have done this. And I look forward to working with you again next year. Thank you.